Welcome back to another episode of Long Beach Livin'. I'm so excited to share with you where we're at today. I'm here with the owner and founder of Human Aeon, Reed. Reed,
Hi.
thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure. Yeah,
so want to get us started by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I have 25 plus years of experience practicing and teaching various methods related to wellness, elevation of consciousness from movement, meditation, esoteric psychology, etc. So yeah, I got into Human Aeon is like a curriculum that is based around hundreds, if not thousands, of different practices and methods that have been used for thousands of years all over the world. I'm jumping right from Weight into Human Aeon, and have been verified by modern science.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, for the last 25 years, I've been practicing, sharing, participating in spaces related to these sort of fundamental elements. Breathing, movement, stillness, meditation, express, sauna, heat, cold, shock therapy. So yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I've owned several different businesses. I mean, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was a kid.
Me too.
Retail and wholesale and marketing and a bunch of different projects. So I'm also creative director of the House of Eons, which is an IP company that is related to our music. We have a record label and there's some tech projects, and this project is all under the umbrella of House of Eons, which is like a creative think tank.
Wow, I got to pick your brain on that stuff a little bit more later too. That's amazing. How did you happen to pick the Belmont Heights, Belmont Shore area?
So I'm born and raised here in Long Beach.
Okay.
My dad was on the peninsula growing up. So I'm from the peninsula, is one side of it. My mom lived over by Cal Long Beach. I went to school all over. Hughes Middle School, the north side. Kent Wilson, all the different high schools. Moved away for a long time, but I've always loved this neighborhood.
So you're a native. Welcome back home. Amazing. Well, so you said before Human Aeon, you've always been in this realm of healing and wellness.
Yeah.
Amazing. What made you want to open Human Aeon?
I mean, my interest in elevating consciousness began at an early age when, like Long Beach in the 90s. I don't know, how long have you lived in Long Beach?
I just moved here like 2-3 years ago.
2-3 years ago. Long Beach in the 80s and 90s was really different. And I always wanted to understand why life was the way it was. So I've always sought, I'm a self-healer. I've always practiced and tinkered, and I mean, some practices were tinkering and some were like meditation, for example. I started meditating in my pre-adolescence, and it really got me through crazy areas of my life, and it didn't even dawn on me. I started so at an early age, so when I meditated, I really liked to do it. I naturally. A lot of people have resistance in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
But I lucked out to have meditators around me, so I would sit and I figured out how to sit and how good it felt.
Yes.
Right? So I would always look forward to meditating. But I never thought that practice is maybe why I got through something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah.
And so I'm at a certain point, my friends would be like, why are you so calm, right? Whatever sort of shitstorm you're in, why do you? And I'm like, I don't know. Wait, it's because I have this practice that I maintained.
Right.
Because I learned it and I like it. And it makes me feel good. Right?
Amazing.
So I started Human Aeon because I want to share, I want to give access. I want people in this community to have access to that feeling.
Right.
And it's a feeling that you access for yourself, but you got to learn the techniques.
Right.
Right? And so a lot of the techniques aren't accessible because they're in Tibetan or they're from some obscure thing. Right? And so it's not as accessible to people. So I made Human Aeon, or I'm making Human Aeon with my type of, I'm surrounded by great people, like Vanessa, who we met, who's going to be managing the space. I practiced martial arts with her consistently for over 10 years. We studied with the same master in Capoeira. that's another thing. It's like consistency of practice, simple practices are, in my opinion, one of the like core fundamentals of feeling well and happy.
Yes.
Which is a core principle to like launch from there to expand consciousness.
Exactly.
Right? I'm a consciousness down kind of guy. Like I'm like hierarchically in the way that I operate, the way that I work on myself is first make sure that I'm in a state of consciousness that I choose to be in.
Okay.
I'm not in a state by accident. Like when we're angry or we're frustrated or we're ruminating on something, we don't choose to be there. Nobody chooses to suffer.
It just happens.
It just happens. It takes over, right?
Right.
And so for me, if I can operate from, I'm choosing to be in this state of consciousness, then everything else falls into place. You know?
Love that.
Create the space, offer it to the community. And I really did this because I want a place to practice with my community.
Yes.
You know what
So
I'm
it's
saying?
really for you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's just as selfish.
Yeah.
It's good, healthy selfishness.
It's healthy.
I'm using the space. I use it every day. It's not open yet. I'm like, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
I sit and meditate in this room every day. I do my breath work here. I'm building out a movement space in the back, which I think you saw.
Yes, I did.
When I'm by myself, I do Capoeira here by myself. I do my ice plunge in the hot tub, but there's space for plenty of people.
Yes, there is.
Right?
It's a beautiful big house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With the outdoor lounge, and indoor lounge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to cap membership probably at about 100 people.
Wow, okay.
And then we'll do public workshops and classes because I can only have so many people through this space. So it's like my laboratory for this project. The project is 2 parts. Human Aeon is 2 parts. One is curate a space where community can practice together, vibe out every day or every week. The other is present a simple curriculum. Curriculum is not even the right word, like a framework of practices that people can take and do according to what their needs are. Because I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all practice.
Exactly.
But I do believe that there are elements that everyone should have, that actually everyone needs to experience well-being. Knowing how to breathe, knowing how to still your body completely and hold it in a still space, which is the gateway to meditation. Knowing how to move, which there's fitness, there's exercise, there's dance, there's martial arts, there's many different forms of movement, but movement at its core, moving every day.
Flow, yeah.
Natural shock, because we are conditioned to be somewhat addicted to comfort. We no longer take on the natural shock that we had to take on when we were evolving as hunter-gatherers. So we would have to freeze out in nature sometimes. It makes the body more robust. It actually resets the nervous system. We would have to, sweat, go long periods without food, experience, panic states, emergency states. Now we're so comfortable that we make up suffering. We simulate suffering.
Yep.
And it's not even real suffering.
Yep.
So taking an ice bath, for example, or doing a hot sauna for a long period of time, just until you shock just enough. And obviously, everyone's constitution is different. The body creates heat shock proteins, cold shock proteins. When you do breath work, that's a form of shocking your body. The body creates hypoxic induction factor, which is a shock protein. The 3 scientists who discovered that won the Nobel Prize for medicine back in 2019. So the idea is removing some of the comfort, right, intentionally, to create reset and more information, etc., etc., etc. I could go on and on.
I see that. You already answered so many of my questions.
We're done. No,
That's amazing.
I told you guys everything. So let me just cap it because I started to go off on the shock therapy.
Sure.
It's breath work, meditative stillness, movement, heat and cold therapy, and techniques for the elevation of consciousness, which is like psychology. So those are the 5 elements of human.
That's interesting.
And there's no it's just a collection of ideas and a collection of we all do these things unknowingly, right? I mean, everybody exercises. At some point, hopefully, people learn some breathing exercises. But anyways, it's a practice space for that.
So what is you called it elevation of consciousness?
Yeah. So for example,
segment, what does that look like?
Like mindset techniques. Some people call it mindfulness techniques, but this kind of goes a little bit beyond mindfulness. Self-observation, self-remembering techniques, maybe ayahuasca ceremonies or plant medicine ceremonies with very experienced individuals in the right space. We do long meditation retreats that involve different forms of walking meditations, talking meditation. For example, like our breathing techniques, it's actually not a technique. We take all the breathing techniques and categorize them into 4 elements.
Okay.
Which is over breathing, under breathing, conscious breathing, and breathing from visionary states or psychedelic breathing.
Okay.
Conscious breathing is a form of breathwork and mindset or consciousness elevation technique. Because you do that form of breathing when you're in the moment. So you can, for example, turn a conversation or a way of speaking into a breathing technique.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
How did you come up with the name Human Aeon?
Okay. So like I was saying, I'm an entrepreneur. One of the companies that I'm a partner in is called House of Eons, which is an intellectual property company. And it came about during the pandemic when me and my best friend, who's also an amazing person, an entrepreneur, an artist, and DJ, and music producer, and chef, and all these. He's just this brilliant person. So he and I would spend time together during the pandemic. We didn't have a lot going on. My business, I had a retail business in Seattle that got just ransacked by the pandemic and the situation up there. And so he and I we would travel and come up with ideas. Like each idea that we shared was like a whole other dimension, a whole other aeon, right? So we call it House of Eons because that company that we have together is like the house of all of these like ideas. It's our idea factory. So the human being, this place is for the regeneration of the human being. I mean, on a physical level, right? Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned we have treatment room here, so we'll have a massage.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this place is for humans, right? Clearly, right. This is like for human regeneration and human elevation of human consciousness. And Aeon is a dimension, so this is the dimension. This is the dimension for the human being.
I love that. Very cool. Now, I know you mentioned in one of your posts, and Vanessa told me as well, that you guys have massage and lymphatic drainage. What's the difference between the two?
So I'm not an expert. Okay. I do some body work, but it's unorthodox. My massage therapist that I have here, her name is Nazaria Bay. She's just a masterful body worker. If you tell her what's going on in your body, she will do exactly what you ask her to do within an hour or 90 minutes. Ooh. It's amazing. So she'll generally, like when I get a massage from her, she'll ask me relaxing or therapeutic. And if I want to relax, she'll just like hit the spots just in the right way, in the right pattern. If it's therapeutic, you'll hear me screaming in the house because she's like digging through my body. Right, into my soul. You gotta breathe through it. Yeah. Lymphatic drainage is so lymph, I guess, gets like stuck or inhibited in different parts of the body, and lymphatic drainage like is literally they like push the lymph through your system so that it like drains out. It's like a type of purging almost. Right. I've had it done once or twice, but a really good friend and expert lymphatic drainage massage practitioner, Courtney Oldhow, will be here. I think 3 or 4 days a week, hopefully, for people to be able to get those treatments as well. Amazing. Yeah. So you said it's going to be membership based, capped at 100 people. Now, what if do you have to be a member to come get a massage, or how does all that work? So members will be first in line. Okay. There'll be waiting lists, and if there's room, then we can bring in people to massage or come in. There's going to be a drop-in rate, and right now all the rates are introductory. Okay. I think it's $60 if you want to just drop in for an hour or two, and like use the facility. And this room is going to be something a little bit different. It'll be full meditation room with access to the movement space, infrared sauna, which we're putting in on tomorrow. All the saunas, hot, cold, all that stuff. It'd be like $60 to start, and then you can book a massage or treatment.
Okay.
So I mean, we don't have a lot of members signed up yet. We haven't really been marketing. We just sort of we kept pushing back our opening just because I've been doing all the other House of Neon stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So there'll be space for people to come and drop in.
Perfect.
For sure.
Perfect. I can already think of quite a few people who would love this place, my husband and myself included. So, yeah. Well, I think you answered all of my questions. Is there anything you would like to tell everybody?
I mean, this place is for the community. It's for Long Beach, and it's open. We're doing a grand opening party next Sunday, open house style between 1 and 7 p.m. The first few hours, it'll be tours, and I'll be leading some simple practices for people to do. Bring your swim trunks, towel, get in the cold plunge, get in the hot tub, and then we'll have live music and some food after 5 p.m. So come on through, and if not then drop in, get a drop in link, get a treatment. See you here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today.
Great.
And if you guys know of anyone else who'd like to be interviewed who's servicing the Long Beach area, feel free to reach out. I'll put my information on the screen. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye-bye for now. Make sure to visit humanaeon.com for more info and membership details. This is a very special place, and I hope you guys can check it out. Also, check out my websites if you'd like to request an interview. Thank you so much.